We're live, we're set.
Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order 10:01. And the first order of business is to declare any conflict. So hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at the material for today's meeting. Would anybody like to declare any conflicts with any of the issues we're going to discuss? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. The next item is election of officers. And so Judy, could you take that over, please?
Maybe.
You might be on mute, Judy. Judy, are you there? Okay, she may have been cut off.
You can come
she
back
was
to
the chairman of that. Yeah, she's the chairman of that committee. So the next item is looking for a motion to go into executive session for an attorney-client discussion.
I'm here now, Rich. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. No problem, Judy. Would you like to handle the election of officers? All right.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry for the mistake. Yes,
problem.
the committee was comprised of myself and Mike Johnson and Craig. Am I missing anybody on that? I don't think so. Anyway, the slate of officers are for president or for chairman, Rich Ewell, vice chairman Judy Hopkins, treasurer is Mike Johnson. Secretary, I mixed that up. I'm sorry. Treasurer is Doug Burke. Oh my gosh, Doug Frank. Okay, let me just go back to mute and start over again. Sorry. Okay, so we have Rich Ewell as chair. Judy Hopkins is vice chair. Secretary is Mike Johnson, and treasurer is Doug Burke. And that would be for all of the positions in each one of the organizations. And I would move that for acceptance.
Yeah, all you need is a second.
I'll second it, Mike.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thanks everybody, and thanks for being willing to serve as officers. So now we'll look for a motion to go into executive session for attorney-client discussion. Can I have a motion?
Yeah, this is Doug. I'll make that motion.
Doug, and a second by
Judy.
I'll second.
Okay, Judy. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so
We're all set. We're live.
Okay, so we're out of executive session at 11:05. And the next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the board minutes from January 14th?
Also move.
Skip,
Second, Mike.
second. Mike, okay. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. The next item is the treasurer's report, and we're looking for a motion to approve the abstract for January expenses.
Judy will move it.
Judy, and do I have a second?
That's just Doug. I'll second it.
Doug, okay. Is there any discussion? I just had one question or one, I guess, request. When it shows expenses on here for, at the bottom of the first page, it shows, it's the second entry up from the bottom, it shows foundation design PC, and it says geotechnical report. I would like to see the site because we've done 3 of those. I'm assuming that's the Amity site, but
I noticed
from now
that.
on-
I noticed that too. That was the Cuba site. We hadn't paid for the Cuba site yet.
Okay, so if Pam knows, when you probably type in those descriptions, if you would just, note that in there so that we could tell, and that we'll know if we ever look back at 10 years what it was. So, okay, thank you.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. And the next item is the banking and financial summary. Looking for a motion to approve that.
Judy will move
Motion
it.
to approve. Oh, Judy, okay. Do I have a second?
This is Doug.
Doug, okay. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, thank you. We do have a building maintenance report. Craig, did you quickly want to just go through that?
Yeah, the biggest thing is we've had to do some additional testing for our water here at the site. It's getting more expensive. That's just because of the state requirements. And then we had to replace a tank because something had gotten quite old. So we're all set. It's just unfortunately going to be normal maintenance.
Okay, thanks. Okay, now we're on to the action items. And the first item is the seeker negative deck for Rensselaer Power and Independence. And may I have a motion to accept that?
So moved.
Mike, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I think that was Randy. Is there any discussion?
was.
Okay, thanks, Randy. Any discussion? Okay, we have to we have to have everybody vote individually on this. So Judy,
Yes.
Randy,
Aye.
Doug, aye. Mike,
Aye.
Skip,
Aye.
and I vote yes. I vote aye. Okay, thanks, everybody. The next item is to approve the pilot resolution for the Rensselaer Power project in Independence. So I'm looking for a motion to approve that.
I'll move.
Skip?
Yep.
Do I have a second?
Judy will second.
Judy, thank you. Okay, any discussion? Okay, we'll call that one as well. Randy?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
And Rich votes aye. I vote aye. So, all right, thank you. And the next item is approving the project. We need a motion to approve the project, a resolution to approve the project for Rensselaer Power and Independence. So could I please have a motion to approve the project?
Judy will move it.
Randy.
Oh, I'll second
Randy,
it.
and then Judy, second. Okay. Any discussion?
Yeah, just a quick
All in
question.
favor? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Craig, I think I heard it before, but just let me get a clarification. We have an okay from the town that they're agreeing with us, right?
Yeah, I've been working with Jerry and Independence, and this is their fourth project, and they've been working with them actually, they said they're a very good company to work with and make presentations, and they've made the best presentation that they've ever seen. So yeah, they're on board.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Opposed? Okay. Thank you. The next item is we need a motion approving the deviation to our pilot for Great Lakes cheese. We're going to be sending a written notification to the taxing entities.
Excuse me, Rich, this is Pam.
Yeah.
Were you doing a voice vote on the project resolution?
Am I allowed? I didn't think that we had to get everybody's vote on the project. Do I?
Okay.
No, if I do, we want to. I may have made a mistake.
I think it'd be best to do it. I think almost all these resolutions that
Okay.
they've written up, they basically do a voice vote.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Let's go through and vote. Okay. Skip? Mike?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Randy?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
And I say aye. All right. Thanks, Pam. I appreciate it. Okay, so back to the approving resolution for the pilot deviation for Great Lakes cheese. And I need a motion to approve sending that letter.
Judy will move it.
Judy, do I have a second?
I'll
Mr.
second.
Stark, I'll second.
All right, Doug, second? Okay, is there any discussion?
Yeah, I think I'll discuss. I guess I just kind of want to be on the record, just saying that, in listening to the public hearing and, hearing from all the citizens who are, rightfully concerned of the impact of Great Lakes cheese leaving Cuba, those folks have given their hearts and souls to kind of survive or reviving and supporting Cuba. And I do support this resolution going to Crossroads as kind of as a last resort of leaving the Cuba community, but staying in the county, which is obviously most important in the long run for everybody in mind. Obviously, if there was any way that it could have been kept in Cuba, I know that Craig and Dan and the IDA have worked tirelessly to try to do everything they could to try to keep it in Cuba. Unfortunately, it does not look like that's going to be the case. If for some reason there does come back that the site doesn't go through, we certainly would do everything we can to try to find a site again in Cuba if there's any way possible. But it's a gut punch, I know, for the citizens, and it is for, those of us who live in Cuba and the county in general. But as we know, we've done everything we can. And so that's why I still support it. Going to Crossroads is kind of as a last resort that we couldn't somehow keep it in Cuba. So with that, that's my comment. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Skip. Does anybody else have a comment? Okay, so we'll vote. Skip? Aye. Randy? Aye. Judy?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Doug? Aye. And I vote yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, the next item is micro enterprise grant review, 2 of the proposed projects. So I guess we'll take those one by one.
Can I just mention at this time, Rich, that Greg has called in. He's on the phone if you have any questions
thank you,
about
Greg.
these
Hello.
grants. Greg Merriman is on.
All right, so do you want to, we considered Cooperwood, I believe, last meeting, and we had some questions. So do you want to go through that, Craig, with it and tell us what you found out?
Greg, are you on the phone?
Yes, I'm here.
The question was really on that, as you well know, the question was on potential of liens and dealing with the fact that buying one big, large piece of equipment.
Sure. So the grant agreements that potential awardees and awardees will sign allows the IDA to take a lien on existing assets. It's a blanket lien that would be filed by the IDA. It really is at the IDA's discretion if they choose to file a lien. But in this case, you guys would really have to decide if that is action that you would like to take specific to this project, as well as any of the other projects that have been approved. We can assist with preparing those forms and assist with filing, but we kind of need to hear from you guys if that is a step that you'd like to take.
Can you also mention how infrequently has happened in the grants that you've been managing?
Yeah, we do micros all over the place. Some communities like to file a lien just to give them additional protection. It might be 50-50. But in the years that we've done this, I've been doing this for the last 5 years with Harry Sickerman, and we've had yet to have anybody who was defaulted on a micro enterprise loan. We work very diligently to get all the cost documentation, required job creation upfront, and equity contribution upfront. So we really try to satisfy any of the terms of default immediately. So there is no opportunity for default. In this particular case, he's going to buy one large piece of equipment. Cost documentation will be easy. He is low income himself, so he will have no job creation requirement. So really the terms of the grant are really going to be satisfied very quickly and easily on this particular one, but it depends on the AD's level of comfort going forward.
Hey, Rich, I have a question, just a general question on these grants.
Okay.
We're not, my understanding is that in the event of a default, the IDA is not on the hook for any of this anyway, are we?
Well, the IDA is going to be, so the IDA is acting as a subrecipient here. So the subrecipient is granting the money to these applicants. So as terms of that agreement, there would be recapture clauses that would allow you to go back and to try to secure, funds that have been granted to these individuals. The blanket lien is, part of the way that you do that.
No, I understand that, but assuming a default and inability to collect on it, it's not the IDA that's going to pay anything, right? The state's not coming after us.
The state is ultimately coming after the county, right? The county is granting the money to the ACIDA. So the county is going to be on the hook, but there are terms of the agreement between the county and the ACIDA, right? The ACIDA is a granting entity to the applicant. And as I said again, to Craig, I've clarified, we've not had any of these defaults. We've not had to chase anybody down to try to collect on a grant that was made. We get to know these folks individually. We spend a lot of time on the phone with them. We help them all the way through the process. We stay in touch with them. Another thing that we'll do is they'll be monitoring of these microenterprise activities, throughout the next year, just to make sure they're doing what they said they were going to do. That if they have to create a job, that job is still in place, that their business is still in operation, that they still have whatever pieces of equipment that they bought, right? That they just didn't turn around and sell it and put that cash in their pocket. So we work very diligently, try to stay on top of these folks.
Well, this is Doug. As a follow-up to that, one of the questions that I had last meeting was in regards to the credit quality, the personal credit of these individuals that we're looking at. Is that very typical when we're looking at grants, that we would have some lower credit ratings and maybe some delinquency on their personal credit?
Yeah, that is common.
Yeah, both of these have it. Both of these applications have credit questions, let's put it that way.
Yeah, and I think that is common in a lot of the communities that we work in. It is just the nature of how these microenterprise programs are built to work, right? They're intended to assist low to moderate income individuals with giving them a leg up, helping them get a start in a business, or helping them survive COVID-19 and the pandemic, or helping them grow and expand. So we see a range of applicants, but generally speaking, they are those that have poor credit rating or fair credit rating. That's pretty common, yes.
Okay, thanks for the
And you do know the grant, basically as long as they follow through on the grant application, what they've agreed to do, which is either put this business, forward and or hire somebody if they have to. Those all have to be done before they'll get the funds. I mean, I think Greg does a great job to make sure they meet all the grant requirements up front. So, this is not anything to do whether or not the company fails long term. It's just that they're following what the grant application says they will do, right, Greg?
Yeah, that's right. And as I kind of alluded to before, that those requirements include job creation. If you have to create a job, we need to see that job created before they get a nickel. And before they see their final grant funds, we need to see their equity contribution requirement documented. So we may have multiple draws for businesses because we have to collect cost documentation over time, but I need to see that equity match in place before they get their final dollars. And so really job creation and equity contribution, those are the two primary ways where we could have a problem, but we won't have a problem with those things because we handle them upfront to make sure they do their project as they've promised to do.
Does anybody else have any questions? Just specifically this piece of equipment. My question is for Doug. Doug, do you think it would be prudent for us to have a separate UCC filing on that piece of equipment? Because if we take all business assets of somebody who makes 10, it's not even going to be worth probably going. It might not be worth going after. For example, that might be an example.
Yeah, you can refer to the specific piece of equipment and all business assets.
So then if somebody went to sell that piece of equipment, the buyer, if they did a UCC search, they would know there's a lien. If they didn't, they wouldn't know. Isn't that how that works? They don't have to do one. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
All right. So what's your opinion? Should we require that or not?
I would.
You would?
I would.
Okay. Okay, so that was my only question on that specific item. So, Doug, would you like to make a motion that we approve that grant request with the caveat that we do get a specific lien on that piece of equipment as well?
Yes, I'd make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, anybody opposed? Okay, so we're set on that one. Craig, you want to outline the next grant application?
Well, since Greg's on the phone, I would have him do that, because he's worked with them a lot closer.
Okay,
Go ahead, Greg.
So the next application is for Kissing Tree Farms, and Rob and Melinda Thompson, they own a farm in Scio, and they've recently bought a former restaurant and intended to renovate it for a retail outlet that will sell goods that they produce on the farm, eggs, poultry, chicken, etc. And we'll work with other local providers at the farm. They also plan to install some high tunnels to allow them closer to a 4-season vegetable production. And so this operation is really the opening of a local grocer. And they're using the grant proceeds to purchase machinery and equipment and some working capital costs, but really it's for freezers and coolers and prep tables and things to really turn the restaurant into a local grocer. He is an Army veteran. He currently works for the VA as an engineer, so he does have, a significant source of income. They are not low to moderate income individuals, so they will be required to create a job. I've already had discussions with them about how that process works and laid out those expectations very clearly for them. They hope to be open or to have a grand opening on the 4th of July. So they have a lot of work to do to get that space ready. But we've had good and ongoing conversations with them.
Hey, Greg, this is Doug again, Doug Frank. The question I have on this one is, are they going to be required to put in $7,500? And if so, where is that money going to come from? Because the financial statement does show that they have that much cash.
Yeah, and so the $7,500 is the dollar amount that they identified that they would inject into the business. The terms of the grant require 10% of total project cost. So in order to satisfy the grant, we're really only looking at somewhere around $3,300, right? That's a ballpark number of equity contribution. And that money I expect is going to come from existing farm operations. That's going to come from, money that they're going to continue to put into the business on their own. They were pursuing another micro grant, but it sounds like they might be walking away from that in favor of some family assistance and support that's coming in. So they will have additional funds to throw into the project. And it sounds like Rob plans to do maybe a fair amount of the work, the construction renovation work on his own. So yes, looking at the PFS, there's not a lot of liquidity there. There's not a lot of extra to go around, but we're comfortable that they will be able to meet that equity requirement.
Yeah, this is a good project. I think, that restaurant has been, has been empty for some time, and it's good to have that, put into use.
This is Judy. Can you give me a more exact location of the restaurant? Is that in the town of Scio, town of Amity? Where is that? The vacant one.
You scroll through and see if I have the address in our analysis.
It's a little restaurant near the jail, kind of near the jail, between the jail and
the one that used to be okay, I know what you're talking about. It just operated on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or something like that.
Yep, right on the corner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yep, I know where it is. Thank you. Good location.
Yep.
It'd be nice to see it open again.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Doug. So it sounded like you're in support of this and you're a veteran. So would you like to make a motion to approve this?
Wait, can I ask a question first before we get to that?
Go ahead.
On page 1, and this question goes to the guy from Sickerman. On page 1, you indicate first lien on business assets evidenced by UCC 1 filings. We had a conversation earlier where you recommended against it or for it. You don't care. In this case, are you recommending for it?
It is generally our recommendation that you file against all applicants. So that's just kind of blanket. That's standard for us.
Okay.
There is nothing specific in this that would push me, beyond that general recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Doug, would you like to make the motion to approve it?
Yeah, I will, and I'd like to make a comment before I make that motion, is that I'm very impressed with these presentations, Greg. They're well done. So, I would make, the motion to approve this, application grant.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it, Mike.
Mike, okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Okay. And that was a good, compliment from Doug Frank, because he's a commercial loan officer for I don't know how many years. A long time.
Thank you so much.
So, Greg, good job.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And the next item on the agenda is the approval of the ICA building rental extension with Allegheny County. Craig, would you like to lay that out for us?
Yeah, what the legislators had already approved this contract in December. Unfortunately, they just hired their new attorney. He came on board, I think it was two weeks ago. And so we just got the actual extension documents. It's extending what we already have going on with the county on both buildings. And obviously the conditions will be the same. The one thing that they have taken up in the last year is they have taken care of all the snow plowing and the grass cutting. So although that's not in the original contract, that is something that they have been taken care of, because that's been basically been going to be reimbursed through the contract we have with the county to rent the parking lot. We may be looking at some minor costs in the future. We're still determining that, but at this stage, they've been paying all of the, like I said, all the snow moving and the grass cutting. So other than that, it's the same terms, conditions.
Okay, so we'll get a motion to approve that, and then we'll have some discussion if anybody would like to discuss it. So can I have a motion to approve the addendum to the lease?
So moved.
Thank you, Randy.
Randy? Second. I'll second. Skip. Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have any discussion?
And just a quick question, Rich. Have we ever done a quick look at the financials of this to see if what we're getting in the lease at least covers our expenses?
Yeah, it does. And when we get the accountant done this year in our audit, we'll show the same thing. We're basically covering all costs, including the loans. And I believe both buildings, I think the last time I looked, were in the $20,000 to $40,000 net positive per year.
All right. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better. This whole contract has been a sore point for me for years. And the major point being that there's no cost of living increase built into this contract. They're going to pay the same amount for the next 10 years.
4 years.
Well, the one extension I'm just reading is for 10 years.
Yeah. We can still open that discussion. I mean, she's been very willing to give us some more funds, and we can look at that. Once we get all the financials done this year, I'll sit down with Carissa and we'll deal with that for next year.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see that study.
Yep.
Okay, any other
This is Judy.
comments or
No, I have a
questions? Go ahead, Judy.
I have a question. I'm just wondering if I am supposed to abstain on this. I probably will abstain on the other side when the county approves it, but I don't think I have to abstain here. Do you have a thought, Craig, or anybody?
It's how you feel comfortable, Judy, either way. I mean, it really doesn't matter. I know why you abstained when the legislators voted on it, but I think if you abstain on the one side, I would think you could vote on it for the IDA.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, that takes away my voice completely.
Right.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I'm going to vote.
Okay, so all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, thank you. Any old business? Craig, you'd like to discuss on that list?
Yeah, I can just go through, nothing big except for the water line financial closeout. As far as I know, we're done with both of them. I will follow up with Ryan so we can officially tell us that. I know the Labella has agreed to closing out their financial part, and I believe Effingham has, but I will verify that and send it to the board. Solar projects, no updates except for Oya should be closing hopefully in February. That's their plan. All the projects that did not get started in the last year because of the weather will start once the weather breaks again. And Project Block is, go ahead, what?
Wait, quick question. Can you just update that spreadsheet and send that out to us with new information on the solar projects? Because I think we have a couple new ones.
There's one update. Yeah, the one new project we're just doing right now. I'll add that to it. Okay.
Thank you.
That'd be the only update because really there's no other projects that have been closed. But I will, Judy. I'll add the one project.
Thanks, Judy. Thanks, Judy. It's good.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Project Block, we're continuing to work with Great Lakes Cheese. I want to thank all the board members for being on the public hearing yesterday, and now we'll be sending out that pilot deviation letter as we've noted. There'll be some action coming up in March because everything's moving along in the right direction. And as things get finished, we'll make sure the board knows before the March meeting. Any questions on Project Block, which is Great Lakes Cheese now? Now it's official as of yesterday. Okay, if not, the Alliance lawsuit, we'll continue to work with the town, the county, and the school district, and hopefully doing a settlement with Alliance to settle some of their back taxes. That'll be forthcoming, hopefully something by the next board meeting.
Hey, Craig.
Okay, thanks, Craig.
Yes, Mike?
Craig, what's coming up on the 22nd? You want to fill us in on that? Sure.
As far as, we'll go back to Project Block, so it's underneath there. Basically, on the 22nd, there's already set, and it's going to be in the paper for the next 10 days, as there'll be a public hearing regarding eminent domain on that land. Hopefully, we will not have to go through eminent domain, but if we do, we do. Great Lakes Cheese and the landowner are still actively discussing the sale of that land, and the landowner has been very courteous and allowed us on the land to do all of the preliminary seeker, including the geotechnical investigation. So we're hopeful that will be settled before the eminent domain public hearing on February 22nd.
Okay, thanks.
Good question. Thanks.
Okay,
Mike.
any other old business? No other old business. Okay, is there any new business? Next item is good of the order. Anything? And the next meeting will be March 11th at 10 a.m. I would like a motion to adjourn, please.
Yeah, just a quick good of the order, Rich.
Okay.
I just want to compliment Pam on the way she sent out this last batch of files. Instead of a dozen files, we just get one big one. Nice job, Pam.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
yeah, good job. Thank you.
Okay, motion to adjourn?
So moved,
So-
Judy.
Second.
Judy and Mike second. All in favor, say aye. Thank you.
All right.
Craig, let us know when we're adjourned, please.